Welcome to PlayBranson, the show where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. I'm your host, Chris Meyer, and today's episode is brought to you by iBranson.com, where you can find lots of information about Branson shows and attractions. If you're looking for the latest show schedules, go to iBranson.com. Earlier this year, we announced that we are now on the Vacation Channel, and if you are in Branson, that's Channel 6 on Optimum Cable or 36-1 if you watch by antenna. Our new episodes now drop every Monday at 8 p.m., so be sure to watch our new episodes every week. You can also find us on social media or our website at PlayBranson.com. Our guest this week is Jerry Presley and R.W. Blackwood, and they're with the God and Country Theater. It's been a long time since both of them have been on the show. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more PlayBranson.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. On today's show, I have Jerry Presley and R.W. Blackwood. And so guys, welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
It's been a long time since both of you have been on the show.
No, I've missed it.
Yeah, so welcome back.
Thank you. We don't get out of the home much, but it's nice to be here, Jerry.
Yeah. So you guys have collaborated on some entertainment. We're going to talk about that in the second half of the show. But give people your history. Like, how did you get into this business? And tell us how it all started.
Well, for me, it started in South Carolina back in 1970 when I got out of the Army. I started doing shows, and I was doing Elvis shows at the time. And we had our first newspaper article written about me and Elvis, and it in a paper that went across the whole state of South Carolina. And it was on the front page of the entertainment section, and I was really proud of it. So I took a copy by Graceland to give it to Elvis, see what he thought about it. And, it was about 2 or 3 weeks later, Elvis wrote me a letter, and he said, I see the boys handed me this clipping about me and you. He says, I know of our kinship because my aunts have spoken about your family. He says, if this is what you want to do, he says, go for it. If there's anything I can do to help you, so I will. So he encouraged me way back then, back in 1971, and so I've been doing it ever since.
That's a long time.
It is a long, 52 years.
Yeah. Wow.
It's fun. Been great.
Now,
and this man here.
Okay, yeah. R.W., tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, back in the 50s, my father was managed and was in the Blackwood Brothers Quartet, and that was Elvis's idols. We all went to church together in Memphis, and Elvis loved the Blackwood Brothers, wanted to sing in the quartet. And I got to know Elvis when I was like 10 years old. Dad had me on stage singing. Elvis was there. And so we talked. And when I was 11, my father was killed in a plane crash. I'd just been on the Arthur Godfrey Talent Scout show. And Elvis came to the funeral. He was emotional because he grew up listening to my dad and the Blackwood Brothers and loved my father very much, idolized him. And Elvis went on a tour with us. I was 12 at the time. We did a Blackwood Brothers memorial tour for my dad and Bill Lyles, who were killed, and Elvis was a part of that. If you look in the archives, the only tour Elvis ever did where he sang all gospel was with the Blackwood Brothers, and I was a part of that in early, middle 50s. So I grew up, became a Blackwood brother, and my wife one day said she had to fill in for the tenor singer because he quit without notice. She sang with us, so here we had a girl that wasn't a brother, so we had a group called the Blackwood Singers, and we were singing the Blackwood Brothers. So we had two groups.
And so the Blackwoods have been around a really long time. Now, Branson, you've been here and gone and here, and talk a little bit about like how long you've been here in Branson.
We left Memphis and came here in 1990. did shows at the Ozark Country Jubilee, and we were there and sang up until '97. And Louise Mandrell went to Pigeon Forge, invited us to come with her. So we went with Louise Mandrell to Pigeon Forge, sang on her show, and did a morning show. Then we stayed there till 2016, come back to Branson, started at Starlight. Met up with Jerry this year, and Jerry and I felt like with his history of Elvis, my history of Elvis, let's put our shows together. So we open, and we do an opening 30 minutes, and then we back Jerry, and we do Elvis style, like Aloha. And you want to tell about that?
Oh yeah, sure. We do three different shows: Aloha from Hawaii, and we do Elvis's last concert, and then we do the Madison Square Garden show. That was his first 3 famous concerts that was televised, and then we do an all Elvis gospel show every other Sunday. So and that's right down there in LA.
And I do want to talk more about the shows, but I want to go back with you as well, because you were in Branson a long time ago, and then you left for a while, right? Yeah. And so talk a little bit about that.
Well, I first came to Branson in '84, and I built a theater called the King's Mansion. The front of it looked like Graceland. And I was here for about 5 years, and someone offered me a deal I couldn't refuse on the building, so I sold it. But then I started traveling with Elvis's original backup singers, the Jordanaires and the Stamps Quartet. And we traveled off and on for about 26 years. Wow. So it was fun times, but I always loved Branson so much, and I wanted to come back. So I did. 2013, I came back, and before I knew it, I bought another theater in 2016. So anyway, so it's been good. Lord's been good to us, and we're just trying to survive this mean world. It's Branson's just a great town. Yeah. It's a great city.
Yeah. So, lots of entertainment here in Branson, and so. I mean, you guys both have got a rich history in the entertainment business, yes. and I think it's interesting how you guys have connected. And so we're going to stop right here, and then we're going to come back and let's talk about all these shows. And so we'll be back, folks, in just a minute to talk about all these shows. We'll be right back. Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We're here today on PlayBranson with Jerry Presley and R.W. Blackwood, and you guys are over at the God and Country Theater, and you've partnered up this year. And so let's talk a little bit about that, and then let's go into the different shows.
Well, we've been working on this for about 3 years.
Right, we've been talking.
And finally it all came together, and really proud that we are together, because it does bring out a true history of Elvis and his background and things about Elvis. And the Blackwoods are actually there in the day, singing with him, and I've seen him at concerts and at Graceland, and so it's just a great tie-in. And it legitimizes everything, and it's just a great show. And they do such a wonderful job with their harmonies are just spot on. And I love the part about the Blackwoods with their gospel sound.
Right.
And it's a unique sound, and they're the best at it. They're great.
And so you have a bunch of different shows, but let's talk about this Elvis Live gospel concert with the Blackwood Singers. Let's talk about that one first.
That's on every other Sunday, and that's at 3 o'clock on Sundays. That's the only one that's at 3 o'clock. The rest of the shows are a 7:30 slot. Okay. But they come out. They do a 30-minute warm up or whatever you want to call it, pre-show. And they do it their style, and it's great.
And we have the girls back Jerry up. Donna Blackwood and I have been married 58 years now, so she knows me pretty well. 58 years, and she has a trio. Her trio, and then they're the Sweet Blackwood Trio instead of the Inspirations.
Yeah.
And of course, we had the Blackwood Quartet, the 4 guys, and we put them together, and we backed Jerry up on Aloha and the last concert. And my favorite, Madison Square Garden.
Is that your favorite?
I like it.
Well, it's rocking.
So what's different about what you guys are doing is not only are you doing one show, you have a whole bunch of shows that basically feature Elvis and the Blackwoods, but they're different types of shows.
Right. Elvis is like in his early day, in the early 70s, was the Madison Square Garden show. And then the Aloha from Hawaii was his 73 is when he did it, but it was telecast to 58 different countries. Now this is 1973,
That's a
where
lot of people.
Oh yeah,
On satellite.
1.5 billion people watched it that night, and that was half of the world's population at that time. Never been done by any other entertainer. And then the last concert, of course, was the one that he performed on June 26th, 1977. So
I would like to say I'm with Jerry because Jerry is not what I would call just an impersonator. He's family. He's a cousin to Elvis, grew up the same way I did around Elvis, and we were very close to Elvis and had a relationship with him. Just not putting the show together because we want to be like Elvis. We knew him. Yeah. We were a part of it.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. So when you say this is the final concert, is it basically the exact same thing as his final concert?
I do a rendition of each one of his concerts. If he moved left, I move left. That's I try to tie it down to that. It's not my own rendition of what I thought he should have done, or if I sing the same songs, and so it's kind of like a rendition more than an impersonation.
Okay. But if somebody wanted to see what it was like, they could come to this show and get a good idea.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you also do this Elvis Live Christmas show as well. Of course, that's not this time of year, but Christmas season, right?
Yes, yeah, we and it's all Elvis Christmas songs, and then of course the Blackwood started out. But Elvis had so many genres of music that he did, and he was so good at all of it. Yeah. It's just so it's very entertaining.
Yeah. And I think that's, Elvis has been gone a really long time, but his music is still as popular as ever.
45 years he's been gone, but people are still seeking out Elvis's music. That's never been done by any other entertainer ever. Yeah. And it's just amazing. Well, I just got lucky enough to be kin to him and lucky enough to be with the Blackwoods.
Yeah. So. Well, I think it's a very unique thing. The Madison Square Garden, I'm guessing that is obviously the concert he did out at Madison Square Garden. Correct. So. So let's talk about times once again here. I'm showing Sunday, which you said are at 3.
It's the 3 o'clock gospel show.
And then you have Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 7:30.
That's correct.
And so are all these concerts, are some of them each of those nights, or does it just vary?
No, every Tuesday night is the Madison Square Garden. Thursday night is the Elvis's last concert. And then Saturday night is the Aloha from Hawaii, which is our favorite. Or my favorite.
Yeah. Now, why is that your favorite?
I don't know. I guess so many people saw it that night, but he was kind of laid back. He wasn't, doing a lot of moves and that he was known for and stuff. But he still had his voice and he looked great, And
you like that Hawaiian wedding song?
Yeah.
Blue Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean the music was great.
Yeah.
So. And I try to do it the same way.
Yeah. Now, do you have a live band?
Oh yes,
yeah.
We have a live band. We have 16 people on stage.
Yeah.
So we have a brass horn section. We have 7 backup singers. We got 6 musicians.
Wow.
So it's a load. It's a concert, and it's not an orchestra, but it's a full stage.
Yeah.
So
No, that sounds like a lot of folks are there help making this all happen. And so tell people, God and Country, actually I've got it right here. God and Country is located at 1840 West 76 Country Boulevard. So if you just say just past Applebee's or right before Grand Country, right. kind of just past Dolly Stampede, so in that area of the Strip. Yeah. So
just down the street.
Is there anything I missed today you guys want to share?
Elvis Presley loved the Blackwood brothers, and we actually sang at her funeral. And then we sang at Elvis's funeral, and we sang at Lisa Marie's funeral here recently.
Really?
So the Blackwoods have been involved with Elvis through his whole career, and very close.
Yeah. So
family.
the Blackwoods have a really rich history in gospel music, right? And how many millions of albums have they sold?
Somewhere around 70 million.
Folks, did you hear that? 70 million records. That's a lot.
When my father was killed, they had a song that was high in the charts called Have You Talked to the Man Upstairs, which was on RCA. It was a pop hit. Of course, then the Blackwood Singers had 6 or 7 songs in the country music charts and Billboard charts, like Put Your Hand in the Hand, Sunday Afternoon Boat Ride in the Park on the Lake, I'll Let Him Be There. Trying to think, turn your radio on, some of these songs we do.
Yeah. And so will they get to hear some of these songs as part of these shows?
Right. Correct.
Okay.
Thing about it is, some of the songs that we did, Elvis had our music, and if you look, we have a picture of our album beside his nightstand in his bedroom that he had been listening to. And so some of the songs that he sang, we sang also, like Put Your Hand in the Hand. That was a big song Elvis did. He did Let Me Be There. Of course, Olivia Newton-John made it famous, but he heard us sing it, and some of those songs like that.
Okay.
Why Me, Lord, Help Me.
Yeah. Wow. Folks, there is a tremendous amount of history here. There's a tremendous amount of musical heritage here. And so we would just encourage you to go check out one of these Elvis shows. And there's a whole bunch of them. We've got the Aloha concert, the Madison Square Gardens, the final concert, and then we have the gospel concert with the Blackwood Singers, and then of course Christmas. So 5 different opportunities to really see a different Elvis type show.
Yep.
So folks, we'll be back in just a second to wrap the show up. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. We're wrapping up the show today. Thanks for watching. Our guests this week, Jerry Presley and R.W. Blackwood from the God and Country Theater. You know, they have lots of different Elvis shows over there, so be sure to go check that out. A very unique history for both of them. And so folks, you'll want to check those shows out over at the God and Country Theater. Now, hey, if you haven't been to our Facebook page or Instagram page or even our YouTube page, be sure to go there and like us, subscribe. You can catch all of our episodes there as well, or you can go to PlayBranson.com. If you have a performer that you would like to see on a future episode, let us know. Send us a message. We'll be happy to try and get those folks on a future episode. Now here's the deal. You may be watching our shows and saying, I need to come to Branson. How do I do it? Go to iBranson.com. Those folks can help you plan your entire Branson vacation, hotels, shows, lodging, the whole bit, or you can call them at 877-ENTERTAIN. So we encourage you to check those folks out. I'm Chris Meyer, and I will see you next time on Play Branson.